Hello, and welcome to another edition of Focus. I'm your host, Vernon L. Bolling. It's my pleasure to have a conversation with the Reverend Oscar Tillman, who is the president of the Maricopa County branch of the NAACP. Let me ask you a question. Do you, I don't know how long you've been living here, but I'm going to ask you if you know what the Black-Brown Coalition is all about. Have you ever heard of it? Well, probably a lot of you haven't. You have to go beyond your job and your family. You have to get out there in the street and find out what's going on. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy talking with Reverend Oscar Tillman, because even though I try to read as much as I can and try to belong to as many different organizations as I can, there's always things that get through the cracks. There's things that are happening on these jobs, there's things that are happening with my neighbors, things that are happening that really shouldn't happen. And he can tell us about that. I want you to stick around because I'm gonna tell you, or he's gonna tell you what the Black-Brown Coalition is about, and also tell you about some other things. Some might be shocking, some may not be, that's going on in your community. So don't touch that remote. We're gonna be right back with more of the NAACP and Focus right after these messages.
My name is Jay Rominger, and I'm a CASA volunteer here in the state of Arizona.
Jay has helped me in every part of my life.
CASA is a court-appointed special advocate. You advocate for children who have no one else to speak for them in court.
He's one of my top friends in the world.
He wants a family. He wants to be adopted. He wants a mom and a dad and normality.
It's really because of the Arizona lottery funding that we are able to serve these children that need a voice, that need a Jay in their life.
Welcome back to Focus. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the Maricopa County branch of the NAACP, the Reverend Oscar Tillman. Reverend Tillman, as always, it's a pleasure having here and sitting down and talking to you.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
One of the things that I wanted to call you about, and you're always very obliging to come on, is what I'm hearing about District 8. There seems to be a foot to cut it up differently. Maybe that's the proper way. You could probably put the proper way. Redistricting in District 8. District 8 is made up predominantly of blacks and browns, if I'm
Yes.
right. And I'm not exactly sure of the total boundaries, but I know you can help me with that. So let me ask you, first of all, tell me what the boundaries to your best ability is of District 8. And it doesn't have to be exact, but I know it encompasses some of downtown, South Phoenix. And also, why is there such a uproar about trying to redistrict this area?
This is the whole thing, and I'm glad you brought this up, Vernon, because the fact is, I kind of beat feet over here because the fact is, I took off and went down to the city council
meeting
this afternoon to
Good.
testify. To make a statement, because the fact is, there were so many people there.
Wow.
They had to stop people from going in unless somebody came out, and this was with the council seat in the field and downstairs field and standing room only.
And that's unusual.
Extremely
I've been to some of the
unusual.
meetings. That's
and
very
then
unusual.
I was talking to some of the people that was there, and you're standing outside, and it was warm this afternoon out there, and I told them, I said, well, the only thing we can say about this is that we should be somewhat proud. Democracy is working. That many people willing to come and deal with this issue. The city council voted to accept the staff and what they're going out and what the council looked at and what the community said to the council we'll agree with. Not perfect, but they voted on it. The very next day, shortly after that, a few days, two of the city council people, our former Vice Mayor Nowakowski and Councilman Sal DeCiccio, decided they wanted to put in an alternative redistricting. Excuse me.
Why?
They're saying that, in essence, that too much of the downtown and this is in District 8. Bear in mind, historically, District 8 has been basically the one area in the city of Phoenix that have been represented by an African American.
Right.
If Michael Johnson, former Councilman Calvin Good, set a historical record for 20-some years.
Right.
They changed the rules after that. That'll never happen again in the history of Phoenix.
They put a time.
So term limited.
Term limit, right.
Michael Johnson term limit is up. Somehow, before anyone replaces Michael Johnson, and we are fighting so hard to keep it as the one African American on the city council, the one African American on the city council. But they're trying to, before the next election, take away part of that district, which means that that will give maybe believable a little bit more prestige to some of the other city council person. No one ever brought this up before. And when I spoke today, among many of the community, from Mayor Rose Wilcox, from the Board of Supervisors, to Bishop Barnwell, to Pastor Preston, and our former Councilman Calvin Good, on and on and on. Both black, white, and Hispanic spoke to say, keep what we have. But then Nowakowski would begin to bring out, well, you know that there's a little part of this that belongs to the Hispanic. And about 3 different times, he asked the staff, tell us the percentage of blacks, African Americans, and the percentage of Hispanics. About 3 different times he brought that up. So finally I spoke and I said, please stay with what you voted on. And I says, for you, Councilman Nowakowski, you are my representative. We're not in District 8. You're my representative in a total different district. Why are you making this into a racial issue?
Wow.
What
was his answer?
Didn't say one word.
He didn't say why he was fighting so hard to have this done?
The city council members are allowed to, as a matter of fact, after every person speaks, the mayor asks, does anyone have a question of this person? Didn't say one word.
I'm going to come back to that. So I want you to tell me in the audience what the Brown-Black Coalition is. What does it represent?
Brown-Black Coalition is where the African American community and the black leadership in the community got together with the leadership in the Hispanic community and said, we have too many issues and things that we are involved with.